Good morning. Welcome to your training today on KvCore. My name is Christina Hampton. I'll be your trainer this morning. So, a little bit about my background before we dive in. I have grown up around real estate. My parents are agents. My grandparents owned a brokerage. Half of my
Can
siblings
you
are
turn it off, please?
agents. I'm sorry?
What?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone just because we've got a little bit of background noise. But feel free if you have questions, you can unmute yourself and ask them. You can also use the chat feature in within Zoom if you have any questions for me. So the point is, I've spent time with agents helping them grow their business. I worked at a brokerage training agents on different tools and technology, and one of those tools was KvCore. So I wanted the opportunity to train more often and more people on this tool. So I came to work directly at Inside Real Estate. So that is what brings me here today to help you learn more about how this platform can help grow your business. We're going to go over some quick start tips today, how to get you going within the platform. I know you've been playing around in here for a little while, so we're going to go over some of our most popular items. I'm going to make sure you know how to work your KV Core, things like doing your bulk import, getting all of your contacts into KV Core, getting that portion set up, using your website to get leads, and we'll talk a little bit about some lead generation, things like smart numbers, and then we'll also talk a little bit about how KV Core helps you automate the follow up. All right, so you're all familiar with your dashboard. We'll start our tour here. So, your dashboard is where you can keep an eye on your business, and it's also where you can seek support and training from us. So, on the top right-hand corner, I can look at my agent success plan. This is designed to be done in 4 weeks, but really you could do it faster, you could take longer, you could dive in and really space this out on your own timing. But this will help you break down KV Core. So if I click Agent Success Plan, it'll load up. There's a button that says enroll for free. I apologize. My internet's a little slow this morning, but this takes you through Kiwi Core in a 4 week training plan. And again, you can do that faster, you can do that slower, whatever you need to make this fit in your schedule. Also, the top right hand corner, we have an entire learning portal. So, if you like to learn using courses, we have lots of options for you. You can look through the KV Core, you can select Get Courses in the top center. You can kind of just poke around and see what you're looking for. So we have lots of courses to walk you through KV Core, everywhere from getting started to more advanced topics to details about our paid add-ons. You can look at growth strategies, which is all about lead generation. There's all kinds of courses in here to help you master KV Core. Other places for support are this bottom right-hand corner. So if you haven't yet chatted with support, they're here for you 7 days a week. So you can always search our support articles from here, or you can send us a message. You can chat with our team, ask a question, search through articles, let us know if something doesn't seem quite right, or let us know if there's something that you want to see in this platform. Our goal is to be your tech partner, right? Our goal is not to sell more real estate ourselves. Our goal is to help you sell more real estate. So, anything that you feel you want to see and change in here, let us know, right? All right. And let's see. It looks like Tommy's having some sound. Yep. Let me chat him real quick. Perfect. Okay. All right. So diving back into KvCore, that's where you can go to get some help, some support, and some training on the platform. Now, the other thing the dashboard does is keep you focused on your business, right? Anything your company might want you to know, they can put here as an announcement. And here is where you're running your daily business, right? So KvCore keeps you focused and organized. So if you uh, need help with what you're supposed to do every day, that's where KvCore is going to come in. So this is populated because I schedule it. This is populated because KvCore schedules it. It's also populated because there's certain behaviors that are going to need my attention. So if I look on today's calls, I can see the reason I'm supposed to be calling all these people. And this is one of my favorite parts about KvCore. Again, I'm going to show you a lot of my favorite parts today, so you're going to hear that a lot. So it's telling me to call Steven. And the reason it's telling me to call Steven is I haven't called him in the last month, but he was viewing properties in the last 6 months. That person is starting to go cold, and I don't want to forget about them. So KvCore watches this behavior. I don't need to do it. I don't need to sit there and say, oh man, how long has it been? I have other things to occupy my mind, like preparing for my listing presentation and preparing for my showings, things like that. So KvCore says, hey, it's been 30 days. You need to call Steven, and it schedules it for me and it tells me exactly why. Now, I'm supposed to call George Foreman. He's a new lead and he's never been called. So KvCore scheduled that for me. Dan Washington, you can see this reminder because I scheduled this phone call. I'm supposed to touch base regarding their market reports. I scheduled that in, I wrote that down. So I'm going to go ahead and complete these calls for today. So I can click call now from here, or I could go into their lead record and I can review their activity and I can complete the call from here. So whatever works for me, that's what I can do here. So KvCore is going to keep me focused on organized on what I should be doing each day. It's also going to tell me if there's any active leads I should be talking to. So this dashboard is all inbound activities. So I can see Christina Hampton's been viewing properties. She was new a week ago. Dan looked at a market report, and I can use this drop down to find exactly what I'm looking for. So if I want to quickly see all my new leads, I just click that button and here's my new leads. If I want to quickly see any valuations, so people who've submitted property valuations on my website, I can click that and check that out as well. So my dashboard keeps me organized. It's also a good place to go for support to reach out to people. A couple questions. So, what's the setting on the contact that schedules these calls? This is outside of any campaign, correct? So, there's two settings, Heather. Yes, you are correct. The campaign schedules some of these calls. None of these that I just showed here. These were things that I manually scheduled. And yes, these two are scheduled in a different setting. So, these are set in your profile. This is called daily call creation. So if you look at your profile, so if you click on the top right hand corner, the third item down is my profile. Setting your profile is definitely something that needs a moment, just a quick moment to look over. This big detail section, this is like your externally facing information. So you want an updated headshot, right? So people know who you are when they come to meet you. You can update your contact information. You can add in a signature. Then you can decide to put it on every single outgoing email, like I have selected here, or you can choose to manually add it to your emails. Either setting is fine. Now, that daily call creation, I scrolled back up to the top and it's on the right hand side under settings. And that's right here in the center, daily call creation. So I set here which statuses KvCore is going to sort through. I personally like to throw my sphere in here because we are a relationship based industry. So that's what I like. I would throw my sphere in here so I don't forget about any of them either. That's up to you how you want to edit and change these. The default is prospects, so people who are interested in real estate but not really talking to you. New leads, so people that you don't yet have a relationship with, and active leads, so people that you are talking to, they're just not exactly your client yet. Right. And so again, I threw in my sphere. And do I want to create calls each weekday? Yes. Do I want to create calls on the weekends? Personally, I would mark that to yes as well. And how many calls do you want KvCore to kind of sort through to find? You can see I have this set to 10. I only have 19 leads in here, so there's not that many people for them to sort through. If it finds 10, it finds 10. If it doesn't, that's okay. How am I supposed to know what's being scheduled for me? Well, KvCore sends you an email every morning. And then, of course, you can see it when you log in and you can see it in your mobile app as well. So, all of those are good for sure. Yeah. Good definition of prospect. Uh, wouldn't Yeah, I agree with you. Anytime, Thomas, that would be nice if you hovered over the status and it just kind of gave you a nice little reminder. There's, you know what, status is in a lot of places, but I do like that idea. If you do ever have questions, there is a support portal article about it. So you can either open this smiley face chat widget or you can go to the support center on the left-hand side. But if I look for let's see, usually contact status. Let's see what articles pull up. Yep, right there. Lead and contact statuses. And so, nice little reminder of what these statuses are. Yep, contacts you've met have information for who you want to convert into a lead. They're not actively searching. Your efforts are directed towards getting them to do so. Perfect. But I do like that idea. We do have a couple little hover overs like that. So, yeah, I do like that idea, Thomas. Good feedback. All right. So Heather, what frequency does it have you contact your sphere? That's a 2-point question. So if you're to get through this daily call creation, those are very specific behaviors that it's looking for. So let's look at the chat article on that as well. And if you want it in a bigger screen, I'm looking for the articles here, but the support center on the left-hand side will open it as like a huge page and it gives me my basics and most recommended articles for KvCore. I can search for all articles as well. And so that is called the daily call creation. So daily calls, there we go, daily calls created. This gives you the really specific behavior that that feature is looking for. So we looked at this one, property viewed in the last 6 months, but not called in the last 30 days. And this one also popped up on today's demo, never been called. Um, and then there's also if they're texting you back, but you're not calling them, if they're active on your websites and triggered a behavioral, and you haven't called them, that gets scheduled for you as well. Now, if your question is for the smart campaigns, let's look at that. So, smart campaigns are under marketing autopilot. So, on my left navigation, that's the fourth one down. And here are my smart campaigns. So, if I go to start a campaign, and there's the KvCore library, which has 23 created campaigns for me if I want to use them. And then I have my library, which we've taken usually the 10 most popular and put them down here for you to utilize. So you can search either through the KvCore library or through my library to look at smart campaigns. So if I want to look through the KvCore library and search for my sphere, I've got two options. I've got this created one for homeowners for both buyers and sellers, and I have this created one for renters. So if I want to utilize either of these, I can select add to my library. So that's one way to get to them. The other way is to search through my library because that's definitely one of our default ones that we have added in here. It's this default homeowner sphere. So either way, you want one of these down here in your library. You want to own the campaign. So owning a campaign means it doesn't have this little lockbox on it. And so the easiest way to do that is to either open the one with the lockbox and hit clone to like make a copy. We're cloning it so it's our version and our copy of it. So if I hit clone, this is how does the campaign attach to this person. So this campaign is for my sphere of influence. It's for my buyers and sellers. What is this campaign called? And then an overview of the campaign. So I'm just cloning it. For this purpose, I'm not changing any information about my smart campaign for how it attaches and connects to people. I just want to have one that I own. So created by Christina Hampton, that's me. The reason I want to do this and then make it active so it's on and running and it can start attaching to people is so that way I have freedom and flexibility in my smart campaigns. I want to own all of my campaigns. So if I ever want to make changes in the future, I can. But going back to the question of Heather, what frequency does it have you contact your sphere? It tells you right here. Now, the way you're contacting your leads and your contacts depends on their status, right? Because I'm not going to talk to my sphere of influence the same way I talk to my new leads, right? So if you had a CRM before, I would definitely recommend adding everyone to a smart campaign. So I'll walk you through that process. Step one, go to that profile, get that all set up. Step two, we're going to come here and turn on our smart campaigns, right? So we're going to go status by status, which is what we just looked at, and we're going to turn on the campaigns, make them active, right? So that's what we just did. We cloned this Sphere smart campaign and made it active, right? Now, that's all I need to do for today, right? I'm done. This is turned on. Now, I'm going to show you how to import your contacts and then add your smart campaigns to anyone who's already in your system. But for you guys, if you want to change, or as one of the agents is asking about branding campaigns, you can do that. That's the whole point of cloning it, which is that process I just walked you through. Because if I want to add in an additional phone call, like let's look at this, I immediately send them an email and then I'm tasked to check in with them. So it's as soon as I add them to the smart campaign. Then in a month, it sends them a text message. What does that text message say? Great question. Let's hit this edit button. If I click edit, I can edit the whole step, right? And I want to view exactly what's going out to my contact. So I'm going to select view this template. It says, I just wanted to check in and ask if you saw my monthly real estate market report. Did you find it helpful? If not, let me know and we'll get the right information so you can have it. I try to send it out about once a month. Thanks. Now, this was already talked to them in this immediate email. This email, hey, I've been showing a few homes in your area and thought of you. I have a market report that I send out monthly. It's a nice way to stay in touch with people in my network and give them a view of real estate happenings in their area. I'll plan to include you so we can keep you top of market. As always, let me know if you have any questions or just want to chat. And then you're tasked to check in, right? So set up their market report. And then in a month, it sends them a text message to see if they got it. And then a month later, it sends them an email asking for referrals. And then it gives them some time off, right? So, oh man, quick math, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, it sends them a text message. Another 2 months, it has you call them, right? So it's a pretty casual contact with your sphere. It works out to like about every 2 months or once a quarter because you don't want to be pushy or aggressive with your sphere. Now, if you want to be a little bit more, I don't want to say aggressive, if you want to talk to them more often, you have two options. One, just add it into the smart campaign, right? Then you don't need to remember because it does it for you or it reminds you, right? Or you can go to the smart CRM, do a filter for your sphere, and send them all a message. And you can decide that I'm going to do that on the 30th of every month or the 7th of every month. You can manually do things as well. That's one thing I love about KvCore is there's all this stuff you can automate, but you still also get control. Like I still also can communicate with my people. It's not like I just have to sit here and watch it do its thing. I mean, definitely sit there and watch it do its thing, but you also get to jump in and have some control. So, going into about branding the campaign. So, for example, when I looked at this email and we put in that edit and we viewed that template. So you can change the template. Every step in here is templated. So if I wanted to send out a different email template, I can do that. And this is where I could go in and brand them. So I could go into the templates, brand those templates, and then replace those in the smart campaign. However, they're all going to come with your email signature. If you go to this profile setting, the one that said always include signature, if you toggle that on, your email signature will be added to all the campaigns automatically for you. Ed, yes. Can you add the steps while a campaign is running? Absolutely. I say you just really have to be one step ahead of your, for this person. So if I've had someone in here for 60 days, I mean, I can make changes to this campaign at any point. If I have people all the way at day 330 and I come in here and add something on day 40, it won't go to those people. It's not going to backtrack, but it will add to people moving forward. So, yeah, you can always come in here and edit campaigns. And if you're before them, they'll get it. And if you're after them, they won't, but it'll get everyone after them. And yes, I will show you where to add the monthly market report, just like I'm going to show you where to add smart campaigns in the smart CRM. So, yes, I will make sure that we look at that for sure. All right. So, market report, or excuse me, marketing autopilot. This is where you can go to edit, create smart campaigns, or just use our default ones from scratch. So, I love the smart campaigns. We have those 23 default ones for you, and you can just turn those on. If you want a little bit more personalization, go in and turn them on and add that personalization, right? Edit templates and place them in. Add more calls, add more text messages, whatever you want to do to keep in touch with those people. And if you want to get real fancy, you can make your own campaigns from scratch. And campaigns can be anywhere from simple 3-step reminders to yourself. You can task yourself 3 things to do every time you get a Facebook lead, for example. Uh, and or you can build out a huge smart campaign that goes for 4 years. Lots of options. So we go over the SMART campaign in week 1 and 2 of the Agent Success Plan really lightly, basically what we just did here. But if you look at our lovely support center, which I love by now, I can search through my KvCore articles and there is a complete guide to SMART campaign. So complete guide, or I could type in SMART campaigns. Any of those would get me here. And I'm going to chat you guys this article. This is Our support articles are sometimes short and sweet, and they're sometimes real in depth. This is one of those real in depth ones. So let me chat this to you so you can all have it easy access. So it starts with simple, how to access them. We've already done that. Then, if you want to build out your own campaign, how do you make a plan for that and how do you get started in there? The different ways smart campaigns attach to people, right? So those statuses, as well as by hashtag, and then designing your campaign. So if you want to really get in there and make your own campaign, or if you want more information about editing one that exists, this is going to walk you through that whole process. right? So it's pretty cool. You can, oh, yep, all these details. I love it. You can really, really be a master of smart campaigns. So there's lots of screenshots, lots of info. If you're more of a video watcher, we have both of our advanced webinars linked right into this article. So this is a little over an hour. The one at the top was a little under an hour. So lots of guidance on helping you take charge of smart campaigns, but you can always just stick to the default ones that are there, right? So that is totally fine as well. Thomas, KvCore only does search and send for properties listed for sale, right? Is there future functionality that will include rental inventory or just purchases? It should include rental inventory currently. The way that it works, Thomas, both displayed on your website and what gets sent out in the listing alerts is everything that's active. So that could be for sale. It could also be rentals. So it just depends on the alert that you set up for your client or that they set up for themselves. So let's look at that. Let's look at our website. So you can access your website if you click on your email address, and then underneath the smart number is your website. So my website will look a little different than yours based on color scheme, background image, things like that. But this is all included, right? And I can easily change the background image if I'd like. I can easily change these listing carousels if I'd like. If I put my bio in, it's going to show up right here so people can start getting to know you. You can change what these navigation titles are called. So if instead of calling it search, you want to call it find my dream home, you can do that. If you want to add in these custom pages, you can do that as well. This is all free editing that you can do yourself. If you look at our lovely, lovely learning portal, there's a whole course on it. Now, if you're like, that's great, I want to pay someone to do it for me, you can do that too. With most things in KvCore, you can do it yourself or pay someone else to do it for you. So, but this is all free, changing the background image, make sure you add in your profile, updating what these might be called. You can do that, adding in custom pages, that's also free as well. So when someone comes here to your website, they can quickly complete searches, and you can see right here that I do have rentals selected. So they can look just for rentals. So I would unselect the other things that I'm looking for. If I just wanted to see rentals, I can unselect those other items. Let's say I want a 3-bedroom rental and hit search. And mine's a little confused because I'm located here, but my demo MLS is over here. So that's why it pulled up the whole United States as opposed to a specific area. I also didn't put in a specific area. But check out this nice 9-bedroom rental in LA. I will look at that. All right, so what happens? They complete a search and then they pull it up. They start looking through images, and right around here, there's this nice pop-up that asks them to register. So that's how you can get leads through KvCore, is just having people go to your website. They can register here by saving a property. They can register by scrolling through images. They can chat with you and register. They can ask you a question and register, sign up for email alerts and register, things like that. So if I go to ask this agent a question, it'll have me register first. Okay. Now, if I want to drive traffic, oop, got some feedback. If I want to drive traffic specifically to rentals, I can do that as well. So if I go to my lead engine, I can do that with either a landing page or a squeeze page. These are completely free tools for you that you can use to drive people either directly to your website with a squeeze page, or to kind of like a digital postcard ish with a landing page. So these are both creating links for you, and then you share those links out into the world. Let's build a squeeze page demo real quick. So if I look on here and I wanted to, start getting more people interested in rentals, I can do that. I would go to listing type and select rentals. Oop, clicking all kinds of buttons and select rentals. And now let's be more specific. Let's do New York rentals. I could do style, I could do price point, I could do square footage. I can also leave it pretty generic, right? So let's do that 3-bedroom search again for rental properties in New York. For tracking purposes, my own tracking purposes, I'm going to put a source. So if I post this on my Facebook business page, I want to know about that. If I put it on Twitter, I want to know who comes from there. If I put it on LinkedIn, I want to know about that. So this sourcing is for me, so I know where I'm posting this link and where I'm getting leads from. So maybe I'm part of a rental properties in New York Facebook group, and so part of my business strategy is every Friday I post this multi-property squeeze page with all rentals in New York. Right. So this could be New York renters Facebook group. Right. This source is for me and my tracking. Same thing with hashtags. That is for me and my tracking so I can label my leads together. And these are going to be renter New York. So every lead that comes through this squeeze page is going to get that hashtag. Now, if I want my contacts to be able to view more properties before they need to register, I can adjust that on here with a squeeze page. If I want them to be able to look at 5 properties before they register, awesome. I'm going to generate that link. I'm going to take this big, long, direct link and copy it and put it on Facebook. Facebook doesn't really like this short link. That's okay. So let's take that. And I'm not going to put it on Facebook for the sake of time. But when someone clicks on this link on Facebook, it'll take them here. So it'll take them to exactly what we just looked for, which was 3-bedroom rentals in New York. So, yes, we do rentals, but that was also an example of how to do a squeeze page in general. So, now again, I'm going to post this squeeze page out to drive traffic to this specifically, and then people can click here. Now, if rentals is a big part of your business strategy, that's something you could maybe do a custom page up here for. Do add a squeeze page in as a custom page. So this could be new rentals in New York, and I could put that here as a custom page. That's a little more advanced than the scope of today, but I think it's a cool thing about our website that you can pull out anything you're really interested in focusing on and draw attention to it with these custom pages. So you can also take squeeze pages and put them places like Instagram. You can put them, like I said, on Twitter. If you put them as a text code response, which we'll look at next, in those cases, I would use the small link. Anywhere where they're really going to see the link, and I don't want it to be that big, long one, I would do this short link. But Facebook doesn't really like the short link. And if you're doing an advertisement, so like a Google ad, something like that, you would want to do the big, long, direct link. But let's say we're going to do this short link for a text code, right? So, one thing specifically I know you're all interested in is how to get more seller leads. Right. So we're looking at renters. Let's say we want to get more sellers. One strategy is with this seller squeeze page. This seller squeeze page squeezes them to the property valuation page on your website. So, for example, I can use text codes here. So I could put text code as the source. My hashtag is going to be seller New York. This is going to be New York City. and I'm going to take this cute short link. So my goal here is to get people to the seller valuation page on my website with a focus on New York City. Okay, I'm going to take this short link right here. So I just hit copy to clipboard. Now I want to advertise this in print. Okay, so that is where my call capture text codes really shine, is with print advertising. Text codes, how many of you have seen those advertisings, for a list of updates, text update to 123456789. For a list of coupons, text coupon to 760-253-1307. Right? Our consumers and ourselves are very educated on how text codes work. To be notified, text notify me to this number, right? So we know how this works. I text a code to you and I'm expecting a response. And that is a really cool thing that our consumers are educated about, and you can use that strategy in KvCore. So with this example here where we're talking about property values in New York City and getting more seller leads to look at their property valuation, an example of doing this would be creating a text code in here. So a reminder of how we got here. We went to lead engine. We went to call capture over here. And now we're going to select add new. So I am going to, for this example of getting people to look at their property valuation in New York City, I'm going to send out postcards, right? That's my strategy. I could do this on a just sold listing. I could do it on a market update. I could put it on any of my mailers. I could put it on my business card. Text code can go really anywhere in print advertising. So you can put them on sign writers, all kinds of uses. But for this specific use case, let's say you just sold a property. So you put that out as a mailer, just sold 123 Main Street for $700,000. What's your home worth? Text value, right? Text value to this smart number. And so this is what your consumer is going to text. This is what you tell them to text. This is the number you want them to text to. And then you put your reply message here. So in this case, I'm going to give them that squeeze page link, right? So I'm going to say for a estimation, please click here, right? Or maybe for a property estimation, for a property. And I'm going to put valuation instead. I like that word better. Okay, so you advertise to have them text the word value to this smart number. Okay. When they do, they get this response and they're guided to click this link, right? So I'm going to go ahead and demo that for us real quick. We'll see if my online phone number will work real quick. So here's my little digital phone number. So let's see, 760-253-1307. And I'm going to text the word value. There we go. And that was super quick, right? So my consumer texted the word value to the smart number, and almost instantly they got the response. For a property valuation, please click here. I click there. and it takes me to the property valuation on your page. The average price point in New York is 0. That's because I have a demo feed. This property valuation pulls in from all active listings. This is a great way to get your foot in the door, right? Since this pulls from all active listings, for me, a follow-up to this is always going to be, "Hey, I see you did a valuation on my website, and we all know that your house is different than the neighbors, right? I would love to give you a personal valuation, uh, so I can take into account things like updates, upgrades, and anything unique about your property." Right. So even if they don't fill this out, you at least have their phone number, right? Because they did that text code. So now you have their phone number. And then if they continue the process, if they enter in their address, so let's just pick something random. That's in Oceanside, so I probably won't get a valuation. But I click get estimate. And if I then choose to give my email address, now as an agent, I have a really complete uh, contact profile because now I have not just their phone number, but I have their phone number, their email address, and their property, right? So I can get all that information just straight from there. And so now if I look back at my KvCore dashboard, I'll be able to see that I have a new lead. I'll be able to see uh, here's they texted in value, right? So I can see both. Oh, I see one of you did it too, because that's not me. So welcome, welcome to the value. And then I can see myself as well. I can respond to you straight from here and say something like, I see you received a valuation on my website. Would I am very uh, familiar, or I am an expert in your area. Man, can't spell this morning. Would you like a personalized home valuation? Let me know. And then you can insert you probably know your own name, but you can insert your name. You can insert your cell phone number and send that text. So whichever one of you just texted me, I hope you enjoy that response. All right, so that was a quick overview, but there is it case sensitive? Great question. It is not. So I like to be case sensitive in my hashtags and in my text codes for my own personal readability. But you can see here, whichever one of you was this one, was all lowercase. When I did it, I capitalized it. That's just for readability. Like when I put it in print advertising, I would put this in all caps just to make it stand out and make it really visually clear for them. But yes, it's not case sensitive in hashtags and lead sources in any of that. So that's just for me that I like that. Um, let's see. What is Thomas? What is your favorite browser to use? KvCore, Google Chrome. You absolutely should be on Google Chrome to be utilizing KvCore for sure. And Heather, sorry, I missed your question earlier. The difference between a landing page and a squeeze page. So, a landing page is kind of like a digital postcard. What I mean by that is you can put any piece of information on here that you want. You can change the uh, verbiage on the background of a landing page, and you can put any target for a landing page. Whereas on squeeze pages, it's going to squeeze them to somewhere on your website. So These are two examples I made for Halloweeny purposes. I Googled haunted houses and then did a squeeze page to that area. So, looking for your own real life haunted house, check out these fixer uppers near Creepy World and The Darkness, which were locally famous haunted houses. I Googled it. I don't actually know how famous they are. But so I posted that link and here's a squeeze page, right? It's squeezing them onto your KvCore website to look up active inventory. Whereas the landing page, you can see it's a very different background image. I get to pick the background image. I get to pick all this verbiage. This is one of my fellow trainers. And then they put in their email address and information. Here, I'll even do it right now. Click here for a treat, no tricks. And so she set this up with this background. She set this up for click here for a treat, no tricks. I haven't registered here yet, so I'm not sure where we're going. And again, I apologize. Oh, there we go. So to all homes, she put it to all homes in the area. So pretty cool. Yes, it got, oh, my screen froze on the dashboard. Excellent. Just a second. Let's do that again. I don't think it I didn't change my screen share. So, okay, sorry about that. So, here's that landing page like I was talking about with your custom background, and here's that squeeze page. So, when I click on this uh, squeeze page, it's going to take me to your website or my website in this case. And it's going to show me all the inventory in that area. So in this case, I hand drew this area because there's like a haunted house here and one here and one here. So I drew around the area. So this is all the fixer uppers in that area. Has this cute little like haunted house looking background kind of a thing. Yeah, it's super fun. Uh, and the thing, sorry, this is being very slow this morning. I apologize. There we go. So you can put any image as your background. You put these little speaking points to be whatever you want or need them to be. And then they register. And in this case, it just took them back to these properties on your website. So, landing page, super cool because you get to decide where it goes. You get to decide what you're advertising. You get to decide um, the whole purpose of it. You know, you could do landing pages and then send them to that property valuation. You can do landing pages and have them text you using your created text codes. So, all kinds of ways to use these lead gen tools together or to use them individually and separate it out. So, either one. So, if I go back to that lead engine and this call capture text code, couple other ideas for you. Um, Really good for if you have a listing already, you could do an idea of that property valuation, right? What's your home worth? Text value to this number. You could do for a list of nearby homes, text nearby to the number, and you set the response up to have one of those squeeze pages in the response, right? So there's a lot of different ways to utilize these text codes to then get phone numbers. And once you get a phone number, you're kind of gold, right? Because you can text and show them for sure. All right, so let's see. That would be so, Ed, I know what you're asking, and that's when we go to this listing section. You can directly post these out onto Facebook. My guidance is to create a squeeze page for that. It takes about 30 seconds instead of 5 seconds, but I think it's worth it. So, for example, see, I'm going to need an MLS ID, so let me just grab one. So if I go to my lead engine and go back to that squeeze page, I'm going to come here and look up this single property squeeze page. So we did multi-property, we did seller. Now we're going to do single property. Again, I'm going to source it. So I'm putting this on my Facebook business page. For example, I'm going to advertise my listing on 123 Main Street. So I might give it that hashtag. I might give it the hashtag what area it's in. I'm going to put that MLS listing ID, and I want them to register on this listing. Or maybe I want them to look at that whole listing and then register on the next. And so then I generate the link and I shared this out onto Facebook. So, yes, I'm well practiced in this, so I can do it really quickly. Squeeze pages are really quick. There are things in KvCore I will not say are quick and easy. Squeeze pages are quick and easy, and they are such a good way to give yourself a consistent online presence, right? All I needed here, if I'm looking for bare minimum, all I need is an MLS ID, right? I generate the link and I post it out. So I copy that to my clipboard. I open up my Facebook and I post it in Facebook. So pretty quick and simple. I could, again, post it on LinkedIn, post it on Twitter, post it out wherever I want to. But yeah, that would be my best practice, is to take the time to create this single property squeeze page rather than going to the listing and sharing from there. That is an option. The reason I recommend the squeeze page is because I get to decide the source, right? It helps me know, is this Facebook post working for me? Is LinkedIn working for me? I get to differentiate that. I also get to pre-label them with hashtags, and I get to decide when they register. Are they going to register on this very first property? Are they going to register a couple properties down the line? Am I going to make it so they never need to register? I get to have a little bit more control in there for sure. All right, so let's talk about searching for smart campaigns and market reports and how to add those real quick. So, going to our smart CRM, which is where all of our leads live, I can filter for my contacts. So, going way back to the beginning when we were talking about reaching out to your sphere, if I decide I want to reach out to my sphere on the 7th of every month, as an example, then on the 7th of every month, I come in here and I look for my sphere and I click apply filter. Then I can grab 20 people at a time because I am on 20 people, 20 rows. I could bump this up to 150, anything that I choose in there. And I'm going to click every single person, or I'm going to hand select, and then I'm going to mass email them or mass text them. And I can utilize all those canned responses and templates that exist, right? So there's plenty for my sphere. So if I type in sphere, it gives me all these templates. And again, I can create these templates. I can copy these templates and make edits and changes to them, or I can just write my own message. So lots of flexibility and freedom here. The other filters I want to bring up, if I go to my filters, and this is just real light filtering, we're not going to go into all of these here, but I do want you to go to this behavior section. So if you go to filters and go to behavior, I can quickly see who does not have a smart campaign. I can quickly see who does not have a market report. I can quickly see who does not have a search alert, right? So if I want to see who does not have a running campaign, I can apply that filter. So the blue button on the bottom. And all these people, they do not get personalized contact from me. So I'm going to grab these two sphere people, go to more actions, and quickly add them to a sphere-based smart campaign. It even gives me a suggestion. Yes, I want them on my default homeowner sphere. Thank you. Right? So now they're on a smart campaign. And if I hit refresh, they'll disappear from this list. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to do is go back into my filters, go back down to my behavior, and look up who has no market reports, right? Because we asked that question specifically. In my opinion, when I set up my KvCore, you import your leads, you turn on your smart campaigns, you make sure everyone is on a smart campaign. Then you make sure everyone is on a search alert or market report. They can be on both, absolutely. But the reason I want them on at least one of these two is because that sends them active inventory based information. So alerts are sending them active listings, active rentals, things like that. Market report sends them the market report for that area. So it's both based on real estate data. So that connects your name with real estate and it drives them back to your website. So again, you can keep an eye on their activity. You can see if they're opening your emails. You can see if they're looking at properties. And this triggers those behavioral alerts, right? Things like someone favorited a property, someone came back for the first time in 2 weeks. Again, KvCore is telling you who to follow up with. They alert you when people do those behaviors. So I put everyone on a smart campaign and everyone on a report or an alert. You can do both. Absolutely. That's fine too. So I'm going to apply that filter. And poor George Foreman, let's check him out. So if I click on his name, if I want to add these things individually, I can do that here. So uh, I can go into my campaigns and manually add one from here. I can go to search alerts and manually add them here. I can go to market reports and manually add them here. Now, the easiest thing to do with market reports and search alerts is just to send them to your website and let them click it themselves. But if I want to add like a market report, I can. So on the left-hand side, right, a little bit above center is my market reports. So I can sign them up for city, county, zip code, area, or neighborhood, right? So if I type in New York, I'm going to get the city of New York and the area of New York. So I'm going to put them for the city of New York, and I want them to get a report every 2 weeks. So I select the 14th and I add that. And I have the option to send them a report right now. And that is my best practice because I want them to get an email from me right now. So I'm top of mind rather than waiting for 2 weeks when, especially if it's a new lead, they might forget me in 2 weeks. I don't want anyone to forget me. So I'm going to send it right now. So it's on the top of their inbox and then they'll get another one in 2 weeks. All right. So that is our we went a little deeper than getting started, but that is totally fine. So import your leads, turn on your smart campaigns, come to your smart CRM, make sure everyone is on a smart campaign, make sure everyone is on an alert or market report. And that's it. That's our bare minimum. That'll put everyone getting some kind of follow up from me. No one will fall through the cracks, and that will put you miles ahead of the standard agent. Then all you need to do is log in to your dashboard, right? You can do this from here on your dashboard. You can also you also get an email alert. You can also see this on your mobile app. So then you just do your calls and tasks every day. And if KvCore tells you you have a new lead, if KvCore tells you you have a behavioral alert, you reach out to those people. Yeah, real quick. So the import leads, um, there is a way to make it super, super simple. So this bulk import process there is a form and let's take a minute to look at that. Yeah, a couple people already have done it. That's awesome. One, there's a form where you get to fill out your information, and two, if you have more questions, there's this blue link that says click here to schedule a time to talk with a lead configuration specialist. A lot of words to say half an hour one-on-one phone call appointment. Well, that was a lot of words too. But you can click in here. Someone must be on vacation. There's usually something like within 2 days. So you can have a personalized phone call appointment with a person if you need assistance with doing this bulk import. It is pretty simple once I walk this out for you. One is, who are you? Two, who are these leads? What are your labels? So your status, your hashtag, and your deal type. And do you want us to communicate with them automatically? Right. So I'm Christina Hampton. I'm an agent in the United States. These are my leads. I'm working them. I generated them, so I own them. They are my leads from the MLS, right? Maybe I pulled a list of MLS expireds and I choose that file, or MLS for sale by owners. Let's do that. For sale by owner. What is my status? Either I've added a column to my spreadsheet or I'm answering that question here on this online sheet. So for my MLS for sale by owners, they're going to be prospects, right? I have info on them and I want to turn them into leads, right? Do you want to apply a hashtag? Same thing. Either they're in my spreadsheet or I'm going to tell you right here. I'm just going to tell you right here. This is my, what month is it? It's October. Almost over. October, for sale by owner. These are, again, what deal type? Either I've added a column in my spreadsheet or they're most likely sellers. I'm going to tell you that here. Do you want them to receive listing alerts? For these people, maybe yes, right? Maybe I want to show them what market value is, or maybe no, I don't want them to know that. I want to provide that information. And do you want them to be on a smart campaign? Yes, this one, or no, I'll take care of that manually later. If you have any questions, put them in here and then you submit that file. So pretty straightforward. If you need assistance, click here to schedule time for sure. Yeah, great question, Ed. I did kind of go over that portion real quick, but your leads are private, right? So who are these leads owned by? They are owned by me being the agent, me being the one entering them in, which means that no one can see these leads and no one else can export these leads or take them out. You can. These are your leads. You have full visibility, full control, full ownership of your leads. Great point, Ed. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, this ownership right here. These are my leads. I own them. I generated them. I have full control. All right. So thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you have a good path forward. So import those leads, turn on your smart campaigns, make sure everyone is on a campaign and everyone's getting a market report or a search alert. Then you're set up, right? And from there, drive leads in. Go to the lead engine and do it yourself. Go to the marketplace and pay us to do it for you. Either one. You can join us on the agent success plan. We kind of just basically gave you 4 weeks of knowledge in 1 hour. So if you want more details, if you have more questions, if you want more examples, go through the agent success plan. You can do it as quickly as you want, or you can really space it out and take your time, whatever makes the most sense for you. Great. Thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll send this recording to Ed so he can distribute it. And I hope you have a great weekend and I'll see you online. Thank you.